absolutely. This is one of those very tricky tracks, just a little bit over 1 mile in length. Race is kind of like a short track, if you will. Not a whole lot of banking, but definitely a lot of area to get yourself in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, great win for Kenneth. Strong run all night. Definitely showed his skills on the dirt, and a late restart penalty for Terry. Jumping the start just a little bit, got him in a little trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe's been very impressive, especially the last few weeks, riding in a lot of momentum. Last week at the dirt, he was doing very well. Unfortunately, got himself in a little bit of an incident, wasn't able to overcome that. But right behind him, I mean, what can you say? That four truck, Bobby Trail, he's been out there all season long, and just kind of add in on the points situation as of last week. We saw Terry Cooper Jr. He went ahead and got that penalty, but another gentleman that got the penalty was also the 0-3 of Dale Nearat, loses some valuable points for his playoff championship run as well. Yeah, absolutely. And here, like we said, it's a 1 mile track. So you better believe you come to pit road, you will lose a lap. So there's going to be a lot of strategy when it comes to pitting. Make sure you get on, get off clean. And, talk about shifting. We've seen it several times on tracks that we don't shift. Driver missing a shift or something like that, and all of a sudden blows that motor. So it's definitely going to be one of those situations that we're going to have to look out for. And another one of those things that these drivers are going to have to really tiptoe around.
Yeah, the guys that are shifting, they're early in the run. You're downshifting at about the right after the entry of the corner, and it's kind of helping truck rotate, and you get that good throttle response. Middle of the corner, it rotates, and you kind of get a straight shot off the corner, and that's what you're looking for, just to help the rotation, kind of save that right front.
No, absolutely. And you said it best. Flanagan, he's a very solid race car driver. One of those guys that he kind of sneaks into the picture. We go along these runs, and you get a little bit later, and next thing you know, old 53's right there in your rearview mirror coming up on you, and you don't really see where he's coming from. But everybody's going to be able to get a good view of him tonight. With him starting right there up front, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be aggressive to try to keep that position, or if he's going to be willing to kind of fall back a little bit.
I absolutely do. I've had speeding penalties, hit the commitment cone, just because in practice I'm worrying about my race setup. I'm not thinking pit stops. These 5 minute warm ups really gives you a chance. You can get a couple laps in and try to get a good entry and gauge how far you can drive it in before you enter pit road.
Yeah, the middle groove is kind of where it's at. I do see a couple of guys trying to, just kind of playing around with the bottom, if you will. I'm not too sure that it's necessarily that they're actually trying to run there versus trying to just get into pit road. It's kind of difficult to tell right now. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see what exactly happens. And Randy, I mean, you came out here and you ran some laps. Is that middle really where you want to be, or is it one of those deals where at the beginning of the run you want to be in one lane and you kind of move yourself up as the run goes on?
It seems to be the middle lane is the preferred line. You'll see guys driving to that low line. There's not as much grip there, depending on how the truck's set up, but you can you can kind of de-wedge the car. There's a little bit less banking there, so if you're a little bit tight and you can get down there, it helps you rotate, but the tire grip's a lot lower in that low line.
Yeah, I think you're going to get that right now. Fresh tires, everything like that. Not everybody's really going through it. What I've always known about this track isn't necessarily a good thing. It's a matter of hitting your brake marks and judging the guy in front of you. A lot of the times, a track like this, you see a lot of incidents really going into the corner. Guys just kind of driving too deep into the corner, or not being on the same page with the guy in front of him. The guy in front of him brakes checks a little bit earlier and stuff like that. And that's generally when we get into a little bit of an issue. But hopefully tonight we're going to be able to see some good green flag racing and, just kind of clean it up. We're not a dirt track anymore. We can't be bouncing off the trucks. A little bit of damage here will actually cause quite a bit of significance in your race pace. Yeah, absolutely. They've been going at it pretty much. You got right there, you got Andrew Politsky right there as well. And, I haven't said this in a little while, but, tip my cap. So we've said it at the beginning of the season a lot to our rookies out there. We got 9 rookies in the top 25. The rookie class this year has just been bar none one of the good joys, if you will, of the newcomers coming into this track. And they've really put on a show with the likes of Claude Ferland, Sylvan Joly, Richie Coy, Nearad. So the rookies still, even though we're getting far into the season, really being able to show exactly what they got.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting
pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We got a little bit of technical difficulty with Dean. Unfortunately, we're unable to hear him over YouTube. We're going to get our starting lineup here. On the pole, we will have Joe Flanagan with a 30.232, followed by Bobby Terrell. Third place will be Richie Coy in the 19th. Fourth is going to be Troy Torgensen. Jared Carr is going to be fifth. Bernard Person will be rolling off sixth tonight. Seventh will be Brody Hanna at a 30.334. Minix Richer in eighth. Ninth, Brian Helm. Sherwood Wilford is going to roll off 10th. As we look a little bit further back on our field, Terry Cooper 11th. Lane Allen 13th. McDaniels 15th. Nearad 17th. We go the rest of our field as we're getting ready to come off to the green.
All right, I think we got the volume issues fixed. Thank you for that, anybody on YouTube. And Brad, unfortunate there, all my golden comments not heard by the public, but I'm sure they'll live without them. Nonetheless, it's Flanagan and Terrell, Coy and Torgensen. Randy, we're about ready to get going green.
Oh, the butterflies are turning for those guys. Entering turn one, it's watch your braking points. Just try to get a clean lap in.
All right, coming out of four here. Pace car off the track. Joe Flanagan set to lead him down into one. Ooh, a great start on the outside by Bobby Terrell. He's going to be first to the line there. Flanagan a little slow getting through. He's got preferred position. Looks like Bobby Terrell going to back off a bit. They come out of two side by side.
Yeah, right now advantage is going to be to the inside row. That's going to be Joe Flanagan. He's going to have the preferred line. It looks like he's actually going to clear the forward Bobby Terrell going into three and have very clean exit on the exit four. It looks like we're going to have the 53 of Joe Flanagan rolling and going to be able to complete lap one.
Seeing already, this is some side-by-side action here. Coy trying to get under Torgensen. You got the 57 of Carr and his new number there, and he is fighting with Bernard Person. And these fights 2x2 here continue to rage on.
Yeah, we're already starting to see that we had some drivers towards the back of the field have a little bit of an issue coming off the exit. It looked like we had the 55 there, Jeff Bratton, lose it, and that Duluth trading car truck coming off the corner got extremely loose, was able to gather it back up. We lost several positions up front. We're still going to have Joe Flanagan leading it. Looks like our first major battle is actually going to be right there around the 57. You talked about it. Jared Carr still side by side with Brody Hanna right behind him.
Moving forward already, as is Carr. I mean, they're really still in the same position, but they've got that inside lane. They're working hard to keep it. Hanna underneath Richer right now. And Randy, as this race goes on, you expect this to kind of single file out here. Where are your passing opportunities on this track?
Yeah, definitely surprised that they're still side by side, but they're digging on that low line. As the run goes on, you definitely want to be single file, and entry into the corner will be your main outbreak, and somebody going into the corner will be a passing point, and then coming up off the corners.
Yeah, always dangerous to be passing, entering the corner. We'll see how that plays out. That might be the play for guys. When that happens, they generally, someone will drift up and make some contact, so we'll be watching that. Right now, taking a look in on the 40 of TJ Bartel, already up 4 spots on the evening. He's making a move on Sylvain Joly here.
Yeah, they get extremely close. Look like they almost actually touched going into the entry there. He's going to be able to put it down the inside, but right now he's not really going to have a place. It looks like the 8 almost again up into the outside wall. It's going to avoid the 40 of TJ Bartel to probably get up to the top lane. It looks like, oh, it's very close racing.
It really is. Behind them, it's McDaniel and Helm going at it as well. These guys continue to do battle. You got Terry Cooper right behind them, just waiting for a place to put that truck as well.
Yeah, I can't tell looking at that 40 if he's got a little bit of right front damage on that truck already or not. The 08 to Sylvan Jolly definitely with some right rear damage. I think when he got into the wall a little bit there, but I can't quite make out whether or not the 40's got some right front damage or not, just because of the way that the paint job is.
You can see there the 40 really getting through the middle of the corner. Now, Randy, you know a little bit about TJ and his driving out here. He seems to be turning through the corner, the middle and late part of the corner, a little bit better than some of these guys.
Yeah, talking to him in the practice before the race, that's one area he really concentrates on to get it to rotate through the middle of the corner. And to Brad's point, I think check up, and I believe TJ got in the back of the Sylvain's truck, and that's the damage. He does have a little bit of front damage, but there is
Caution on the speedway.
Yeah, we got caution. We had Lane Allen a little earlier. I'm not sure what happened to Lane. If you could check on that for us, Randy, a few laps ago, the current crash, looks like Terry Cooper involved. We get a look in on this replay right now. You see here, Terry Cooper in front of Brian Helm, comes down low into the corner. Ooh, locks him up a little bit. He's sideways, loses it, back up the track. He's going to catch Nearad, and he's going to get hit by Newton there as well. So Terry Cooper on entry there. We talked a little bit about it, Brad, with the shifting and problems there, I think, with the shifting.
Yeah, when you're shifting, I mean, you can really hop the rear end, get the tires all out of rack. Kind of follow up on that, I was witnessing the 14 of Lane Allen there. It seemed like maybe some sort of technical issue or something like that, because he wasn't involved in any type of incident. He just kind of pulled off the track and unfortunately had to tow.
All right. Is there anything further to report on that, Randy?
Going back through the brief now, it sounds like he may have downshifted and over-revved the truck a little bit, and it sounds like he lost the motor coming by the start-finish line.
Unfortunate, but these are some of the problems of shifting. Right now, we got pit stops commencing. Some of the guys who were in, Nearad, Solari, Newton, Held, Bills, Hines, Ballard, Torrey, Schultz. So, full pit road here. Interesting, Brad, this early in the race, lap 10 here. They only got 3 sets in the garage of tires, but only 125 laps. Do you like this play?
Well, the only thing I like about it is almost everybody came in. I mean, if you're up front, you definitely didn't want to come in, and we saw the likes, Joe Flanagan, I don't believe he came in. Some of the guys towards the front of the field, they're obviously, pit strategy and track position is king, and the last thing you want to do is get a little bit further back in the field. This could come to their favor because it's going to be one of those tracks where pit strategy is going to be everything, track positions, everything. So you go ahead and you do what the leaders won't do. If, luckily, maybe you'll get a caution in the next 5 or 10 laps, and it'll be just enough to kind of flip the field, if you will. So it's going to have to wait and see what exactly happens. This is truly one of those tracks that is, this is like Casey McMullen, a guy that we know is very good with strategy. This is his type of track because he's going to put it out there and he's going to try to do everything he can to do what others don't do to take advantage.
Yeah, great points there. As we look through, there's our top 3. You see Troy Torgensen here, Coy in 4th, always a threat at every track. Carr right in this thing in 5th, Person 6th, Hannah 7th, Riche 8th, Williford up a spot into 9th place with Ferland in 10th. And Brad, you brought up these rookies, man, and I mean, we talk about it a lot, but we really can't overstress it enough just how great they've been this year. I mean, Ferland, that whole team over at AccentLED.com, they've been fantastic, but they're not the only ones. We got Schultz, we got Rupert, we got other guys, and I don't want to leave anybody out, but there's just too many. A lot of great rookies.
Yeah, we really do, and that's that's something to really be proud of, especially as far as just getting the talent into the league and being able to kind of just come in and not have a whole lot of issues with veteran drivers. And, it's kind of one on both sides. The veteran guys understand that the rookies are going to have to learn, and they allow them that opportunity. And at the same time, nobody's being too over aggressive and coming in and just trying to win it on, lap one, day one coming into the league. They understand that, hey, we got to earn our keep here, if you will. And the major thing here is just trying to run green flag, clean racing. And ultimately, I think that's what this league's built on, is that clean green flag racing.
Clean green.
Yeah, a little tongue twister there as we get ready to go back to green here.
Yeah, and as we do, you talked about learning here. What did Flanagan learn on that last restart? What did Terrell learn? These two going to slug it out again. Torgensen and Coy right behind them. Here we go.
Green flag, green flag.
Looks like Flanagan's going to get a better restart, absolutely, on that bottom side.
Yeah, it looks like he put some, what he learned to the track here. He's going to get a much better restart. It's Torgensen down on the inside, really trying to get by Coy. I don't think he can do it here. So he's going to have to work hard here. And all the guys on the inside, Randy, we've seen already, they're in for a bit of a fight, and they got 10 lap older tires to do it with now.
Yeah, absolutely. The grip's starting to wear away. They're losing time, but they're digging for everything they can. They got to keep ahead of these fresh tires.
You see Torgensen files in there rather than lose more spots. He abandons that. Brody Hanna, though, however, still down low underneath Mannix Riche. He's probably got to file in behind him there, and he will. We see behind them some loose cars and some fighting behind them right by Claude Ferland there. Looked like almost some rubbing between TJ Bartel and Ferland. So Bartel, aggressive here in the early going. He's working on Sherwood Williford. He's one of the only guys here really rolling the bottom and making something happen here, Brad.
Yeah, he's looking really good on the bottom. You got to go where they're not right now. Another battle is continuing to rage. Right in front of that's going to be Jared Carr. He's battling with that 98 of Troy Torgerson and finally gets him clear. It was a very tense situation there with 57 almost drifted up right into the 98. You see them getting extremely close. You're starting to see these guys starting to lose a little bit of momentum, and they're starting to go back to what I would consider a more traditional line here at Loudon, and it's more of a diamonding up the corners.
Yeah, and that's what you usually expect when you come here. You come in a little harder, drift her up, kind of cut her down just slightly off the corner. And behind them, though, one guy, we're seeing someone very loose back here. That's Sherwood Williford in the 33, and he is struggling now. When we look at that, Randy, as a long run, is it possible that you want to be loose here early going, and maybe she'll tighten up a bit as we go?
Yeah, the truck seems to go through a swing. You want to start off a little bit loose, but I don't think you want to start as loose as Sherwood is, because as the run goes on, you wear out those tires, it definitely loses grip coming up off the corner.
Yeah, and it's not something, I don't think Sherwood's known to be running loose race cars or trucks, so maybe not quite what he's looking for there. He might be looking for a pit stop to make a little adjustment, but he does love the track. But nonetheless, right now, let's give it due up front, the 53. Joe Flanagan, Pepto Joe, out here leading this thing with the very familiar number 4 chasing him down.
Yeah, Joe's doing a great job, just being extremely consistent, keeping the truck underneath him, doing exactly what he does. You see he's running just a little bit of a higher entry than Bobby Terrell, but he's also able to come off much lower, so doing more of that traditional line, if you will, getting a very good arch, and just being smooth, and that's exactly what he needs to do, because, when you get the 4 truck behind you, he's not going to make very many mistakes. At the same time, he's also not going to be that driver that comes in the corner and just punts you out of the way, so he's going to have to make his way and have his work cut out for him as far as getting around this 53, especially if the 53 continues to run a flawless race.
Yeah, and that's what Joe's going to have to do this, not just for 20 laps here, but for 125. Anybody who's ever been stalked by that 4 car can attest to the fact that he is relentless, smooth, consistent. You're not going to run away from him. You're going to have a mistake-free race to beat him. And so far, so good for Flanagan. 3rd place going to be Richie Coy. 4th, Jared Carr. And 5th is Torgensen. We got Person, Riche, Hanna, Bartel, and Williford in your top 10. As everybody starts to settle down a little bit, it looks like Zach McDaniel looking to make a move into the top 10 here.
McDaniel making his way forward. He was one of those drivers doing very well as he's on the inside of Sherwood Williford. He's going to have the preferred line. And McDaniel's been another one of those drivers rolling the bottom extremely well. McDaniel's not having the success that we're accustomed to seeing him, especially in this truck series. Early on, he's been doing very well, but just not quite the dominant driver that we've seen in the past. He's still trying to get his feet underneath him in the truck series.
Interestingly, I just seen the 33 move up the track a bit, maybe searching for some grip. He's gone into the dark stuff in the corners, and we'll see if he continues up there. Yeah, he does. He's kind of up there pretty high. McDaniel, though, making the move down low.
Yeah, that's one of those questions where I think there's got a little bit of the wall on the exit there. I'm not too sure if it was a matter of him just trying to find a little bit extra grip or him just trying to let the 42 by on that inside, because maybe that truck's just not holding up to him to the standard that he's looking for right now. Is up front, Joe Flanagan and Bobby Terrell continue to pace this field. The gap is marginal. That Ford truck really isn't making any distance up right now. The 19, it looks like he's starting to slowly just inch his way in as the three of these drivers start to pull away from Jared Carr.
Yeah, like we said about Bobby, I mean, Randy, you've raced Bobby. He is not going to wear out his stuff. He's probably not even looking to make a move at this point. So patient a driver. It's almost irritating to have that 4 behind you, Randy.
It absolutely is, because he's so smooth. He doesn't make mistakes, that he saves his tires, and you don't know how hard he's really pushing, and before you know it, he's making a pass on you.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him all race long. Let's look in at some of our other drivers we were talking about. There's TJ Bartel, up 8 spots on the evening, now into 8 spots, so not a great qualifying effort back in 16th, but definitely on the move. In that battle, Zach McDaniel continues to come forward as he's underneath Brody Hanna right now. McDaniel looking really good out here, Brad.
Yeah, McDaniel's looked like he just abandoned that, though. It seems like he just jumped out of the throttle and let that 23 right back by, and he's going to try to reset and re-attack. I got to sit there and think he just wasn't in the position he wanted to be as far as going in that corner and thought better of it. That's one thing that is a new sight, if you will. We've seen that 42 be extremely aggressive and, get caught up into a lot of extracurricular activity, if you will, on the track. And as we see him finally getting by that 23, it's good to see that, he's kind of weighing his options, if you will.
Absolutely, showing a little bit of patience there, and he obviously knew what he was doing, because the next lap he come up there, made the pass. Another guy on the move, Richard Hines in the 12, looking good out here tonight. He's up 10 spots, looking for another one here, trying to move past Ferland for 13th place.
Yeah, you got to sit there and start wondering, for the guys, and I was looking at some of the replays when it happened, as far as the guys taking tires and some of those guys that possibly stayed out, is the new fresh rubber starting to pay off.
As we look in on Hines, he starts to lose a couple of spots. There's Brian Helm thinking about making that move on the outside. Helm, obviously the defending champ from last season. He's been struggling a little bit by his standards, but always a threat at every track we go to.
Yeah,
Up front, the battle is raging, guys. Sorry to interrupt, Brad, but I mean, we got a 3-way battle up front here.
Absolutely. Richie Coy to the top side. He's going to be right there. Looks like Joe Flanagan is going to push out wide. That's going to open the door for the 4 of Bobby too. Bobby's going to try to fill that gap. Unfortunately, though, he's not going to have the momentum necessarily coming off the corner as we're going to battle side by side into 3.
This is something Bobby probably doesn't want to, he's not too interested in here, wearing up his stuff down on the inside, burning that rubber, as they both are here. This might be advantage to Coy. What do you think about this battle, Randy?
Oh, that's great racing. It was just like we were talking. Bobby Arias, he just rides and rides, and one little mistake, and he's trying to pass you, but he's very smart. He'll back off. He'll pull his tires down, and give it a couple laps, he'll be going back after him.
Absolutely, he will. We're on lap 30 at 125, and Randy, when we look in on fuel mileage, do you know the fuel mileage here? Is this something, I mean, that early pit, could these guys do over 100 laps at a track like this?
I don't know exact mileage, but I don't believe 100 laps, and your tires would definitely not hold up.
Alright, so we'd be looking for pit stops. I mean, a one stopper about 35 laps from now. So still lots of time to sort all that out. That battle rages on. Now we got another battle. It's Torgensen and Carr for fourth place. Torgensen looking good on the bottom. He's putting a move on the 57.
Yeah, 57 been extremely tight on the top side, not able to get the momentum and get that truck to rotate. And on top of that, he's been extremely loose on the exit of corners. But that 98 with that bottom, he's having to give up so much speed to make sure he gets around the corner. I think he's possibly, he might not be able to clear him yet. He might have to take at least another turn because he loses so much momentum being on that bottom.
Really does. I think he's going to get it done here as Jared Carr's car is falling off just a bit. Now Bernard Persson going to look underneath him as well, but can't make that move. So Carr hanging on here, but it's Troy Torgensen back up into fourth place.
And Torgensen up to fourth. Bernard Persson now working on that 57 behind them. You're going to have that 40 of TJ Bartel. We talked about him earlier. But then we're going to have the 42 of Zach McDaniels. I think McDaniels has a very good truck underneath him, and he's been making his way through the field. It's going to be interesting to see just how high up he can get before he starts running into a couple of those trucks that it's a little bit more difficult to pass, especially on a kind of a semi-one-group racetrack that we're seeing so far.
You see him there, Zach McDaniel, now looking ahead to TJ Bartel. Both these guys on the move. TJ up 9, Zach McDaniel up 7. Back up front, though, it's the 4 truck is harassing that 53. And this is another trick that veterans like to do. It's fill those mirrors up, go underneath. You're not even really trying to pass. You're trying to fill the mirror, get him thinking about you, get him missing his marks on entry and making a mistake. Right now, I think that's what you're seeing out of Terrell. And the 19 with a move up high, that's going to force Terrell to make a little move. Wow, almost contact there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those situations where you really got to be mindful. You know, Joe Flanagan currently right here up in the lead. 19 of Richie Coy being extremely aggressive on the top side as he's on the outside of the 4 truck. But right now, you got to really wonder, you know, 53 Joe Flanagan, he's not in this situation very often, leading the race. A lot of pressure can be on him. And on top of that, all of these trucks seem to be running a completely different line as far as braking, and you can really see when the 4 truck kind of dives in and gets a really good corner exit, where it looks like the 53 is a little bit better on that top side, rolling the corner and having some momentum down the straightaways.
So interesting what we're seeing. Coy way down the track. He's going to start filling the mirror of the 4 now. There's Torgensen. He joins this battle. Bernard Persson almost up here. Soon to have a 5-truck battle. This is turning out to be a heck of a race here.
Yeah, I think that 98's the one in the catbird seat. He's the one that's not, you know, really going in, being extremely aggressive, trying to use up his equipment. He's just been able to log laps, and he's been able to pull him right back in. Right now, he just needs, you know, kind of mind his P's and Q's, if you will, and just save the truck underneath him. Let the battle come to him.
So interesting, the different strategies, or the different driving styles, I should say, you know, and right now it's still Flanagan. What a job he's done out here. You drive a lot, Randy, with Joe Flanagan. You know, this is a very smooth driver up here. Not really used to having the lead like this. He's doing a fabulous job out here so far.
Absolutely. Joe is one of the smoothest drivers, and right now I'm sure he's pushing harder than he really wants because Bobby's filling his mirror up, but Joe will save as much as he can, and he'll make sure he gets the most out of that truck.
He will. What a job he's doing. I mean, that 4 is all over him. Coy might have used up a bit of stuff trying to make some of the moves he's doing, but he is hanging tough in 3rd. And Torgensen, I like your call, Brad. He might just be the man, but who the heck is going to count out the 8 of Bernard Persson, Brad? I mean, this guy has won so many races here at FTSR, and he is in a prime spot for the way he drives.
Absolutely, he really is. You know, right behind him, you know, we talked about it earlier. That's 42 of Zach McDaniel, but we've seen Zach McDaniel as he makes his way past Jared Carr that time, going to make himself way into the 6th position. The problem with him is he's had to be so aggressive making his way through the field. I don't think he's going to have the truck underneath him if he does get to this pack of 5 cars, as we still continue to see the 4 truck trying to get by the 53 of Joe Flanagan. At one point in time, do you think Joe's just going to kind of not necessarily let him go by, but give him a little bit of extra room? As right now, you see the Ford being able to pull even. I think this is exactly what he's going to need. He's going to have to be.
Caution is out.
Caution
Caution is out.
And an untimely caution for the 53. That'll give Bobby the lead there. It looks like Jared Carr involved in an incident. Let's get a quick look in on the replay. There we see the 57. He's right behind Zach McDaniel. Lots of room here. He dives in pretty hard into the corner. Everything looks fine, and bam, it just gives way. That's a shifting error there. The downshift, and the car gave way. We talked about it. That can happen when you're shifting. Nobody else involved. No damage to the 57, but caution will come out. So here we go, pit strategy, or pit stops, if you will, commencing here. Everybody going to be coming in, and I don't know, but I got a feeling they can probably make it from here. 85 laps probably seems like something that's doable.
Yeah, actually, it looks like the 12 of Richard Hines opting to stay out on the track.
Richard Hines with the call to get out here and lead a lap, if not stay out. I love the call. Do something different, is what I'd always like to say. On pit road, though, these guys all in the race off of pit road. We'll see if Flanagan can maybe jump Bobby Terrell on pit road and get back that lead. And he kind of does. Oh, I think Bobby got him. That was a close battle off of pit road.
You can't get much closer than that. I saw a cone flying. I saw 3 trucks all within the same length, if you will. And I do think that the Ford truck was able to clear him, but we'll have to see exactly what time it is
53 going on by, Brad. Joe Flanagan beats him out. As long as he doesn't get a penalty for that cone, he's going to be fine. Unbelievable job by the pit crew of the 53.
Yeah, that's what that pit road, ultimately the pit stop is going to do with that pole position, give you prime real estate there. As the 12 of Richard Hines foregoes the lead and comes down pit road, he's going to get his service now. So it's going to be interesting to see. Joe Flanagan has been on the bottom of the racetrack for the initial restart, and he opted to stay to the bottom on the second one. Will he change his strategy? As the Ford truck kind of got caught sleeping on that last one, we'll be able to do something a little bit better. And ultimately, what is Richie Coy going to do? It'll be the first time he's going to line up behind the 53, and we know he can be aggressive on restarts.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots to go on here, and I'm not sure what I would do, Randy. I mean, you're sitting here, you're, anywhere in this top 5. What's your thought process? You've had a couple of restarts now. What are you thinking on this one?
Well, with the way the league goes, you're not sure if you're getting another caution, so you're torn between, do you drive hard to try to get the track position now, or do you trying to save the tires? So it's going to be like the start of the race all over again. There's going to be people that are digging for everything they can get.
Well, we saw it early on. If you're able to get to that clean air and get to the lead, you're able to hold off trucks behind you, even if they might be a little bit quicker through certain parts of the corner. So, this restart is going to be everything. And I think Joe Flanagan definitely needs to be able to get it and get out in front, maybe get himself a little bit of cushion. Hopefully he can have the 4 and the 19 battle it out to give him a little bit, because I don't know if that 4 gets out front, I don't know that you're going to be able to catch him.
Man, oh man, so much on the line here. Couple of notes from the people watching at home. Terry Cooper says him and Lane Allen both blew their engines. That's highly unfortunate. Of course, Pepto Jr. out there rooting on Joe Flanagan. Happy to see him on the pole. Joe's doing a great job. Just lost the lead for about a split second and stole it back on pit road. Awesome job by the 53. Here we go. Pace truck is off. Pace car is off.
Green.
And Joe Flanagan down a little slow on the start again. The 4 on the high side doing a great job. Brad, you alluded to it. I don't know. I might want to take that high side. Bobby Terrell deep in there. Here comes Flanagan off the corner. They're going to go side by side off of 2.
Yeah, I think the Ford truck knows he has to give everything he can right now, because if he gets that 53, lets him get clear, he's not necessarily going to have the truck to be able to get by him. He's going to have to play the waiting game.
You see him, he is giving everything he got. That's not the ideal corner to pass on the low side, but this one is. He's got better position here down into one. I think he'll take Bobby here.
And right behind him, 19, Richie Coy, playing very close to the 98, going into the corner. And the truck slides up. Again, extremely close, but right up front, the 53 is going to be able to make his way by, as we saw the 42 behind that get extremely loose and check up the field.
My goodness, action all over the track. Coy and Torgensen slugging it out. You see Coy probably going to prevail down into one here. This is the preferred position in this corner.
I don't want to take anything away from this lead battle up here, but jump back a little bit further into Bird's Nest here. We got the 60 of Mannix Richey, 23 of Brody Hanna. We're going to have the 42 right there. A lot of guys in a lot of bad situations right now, really trying to give everything they get.
And it is tight down here. Richey with McDaniel, Hanna, Sherwood, Joly, all in here battling tooth and nail.
This might be a perfect opportunity to jump on board with some of these guys to see just how difficult it is to get around this track and how much you really can't see the corners.
Let's hop on board with Jared Carr just behind. His battles in Sherwood Williford into the wall, a little bit loose. That's going to cost him. We stay on board with Jared Carr. Comes down hard in here. And I'm not sure, but Williford looks like he gathered it up and only lost a spot. But these guys, man, they're giving everything they got.
And on board with Jared Carr, you can definitely hear the shifting that's going on into these corners. He jump hard on the brake. He's going to try to get to the inside of the 08. He's going to downshift right there. He's going to get back to the throttle, trying to work to the 08, and be very careful not to spin those tires as he gets back into high gear going down the backstretch.
Yeah, Jared's car looking good early on here. You see him still working the bottom. He comes underneath Hanna here, and you know, it's a matter of will that car hold up on the long run. Last time the answer was no. We'll see if he can do a little bit better here. We look a little further ahead. There's McDaniel, Richey, Bartel now got a fresh set. You know, Bernard Person and the top five remain status quo after some heavy fighting. They're right back.
Contact.
Oh!
Sylvan Joly, 33.
No caution there, so it's going to be Joly and Sherwood.
They gathered it up and kept it going, but there was definitely some contact on the exit too.
We see now Sherwood Williford headed to the pits. Let's try and get a replay of this and see what happened. See here from the 26, looking up ahead, a couple of cars. Sherwood Williford loose at the wall. He comes down into Joly and turns them. They both save it. So no heavy damage, but that loose truck of Sherwood Williford still not handling well. Obviously, Randy, he is unable to make the adjustments he wanted during those pit stops.
Yeah, it looks like he may have went the opposite way, or he just didn't give it enough. He was loose at the start. Looked like he continued just to keep getting loose.
So unfortunate. I know how Sherwood likes this track, but sometimes maybe you put a little too much on yourself at a track you like. Right now, Flanagan and Terrell breaking away this time. They're not playing around. They're driving these trucks very hard. Coy falling off a little bit. Torgensen a little further back. Then it's Person. Bartel now up to 6th place. Richey in 7th. McDaniel in 8th. Carr in 9th and Hanna in 10th. And interesting, we've seen McDaniel work his way through the field. He got by TJ Bartel, one of our guys to watch in the last run, but came out, I think he came out of the pits behind him, and that's how important pit stops are, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you cannot make up track position, especially on a pit stop or anything like that. You know, I'm kind of going through the field, you know, talking about different trucks and the way different guys are running it. You know, we were on board earlier. We saw Jared Carr there. You know, he's go ahead and he's shifting through everything. And right now, I've just been kind of following Bobby Trail. I'm not hearing shifting from Bobby Trail. Bobby Trail's just opting to just kind of let the truck roll in the center, not doing any types of a shifting. And Randy, you talked about it earlier about fast guys shifting. At what point in time, you know, is there a number of laps in your head where you're like, okay, once you get to 20 laps into the run, shifting becomes more of a hazard than it does any type of a help?
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head. About 20 to laps, your tires start getting worn, a loose entry, and when you start shifting, it kicks the back out even more. So I was never a fan of shifting. I tried to make a setup fourth gear only. But a lot of these guys just have it down pat where 20, 25 laps, they start shifting, and it seems to really take off.
And that's pretty much what we'd see normally is as they wore out, they'll start shifting. But Brad, you brought up an interesting point where, you know, the later on you're actually going to shifting, but it's actually at the point where it's more dangerous for you with those worn out tires.
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what we saw with the 57 there. You know, he went to it, and, you know, the back end just hopped and sent the truck right around. It's interesting to see, though, you know, the Ford truck right now, he's staying right on the back of Flanagan. You know, he's kept it at about 2/10 for, what are we on, lap 56, so about 54 laps. He's kept that gap at about 2/10. We see right now Richie Coy falling back a little bit over a second back from our leader. So, you know, the top two definitely. The two trucks to beat us, we're starting to see a little bit of a gap, like I said, to Richie Coy, but Bernard Person's still there in that gap on that second row, if you will. TJ Bartel, Mannix Richey, he's joined the fray up here in the top 10.
Yeah, Mannix Richey, another guy who just plugs around, always ends up in the top 10 or top 5. The 60 has been really good this year. Right now, he's got the 42 with Zach McDaniel under him, though. And there goes Zach doing his thing again. He's got a good piece tonight, and he is coming forward in each and every run. Now, interesting, Randy, when we look at the strategy for tonight, you know, they were looking at about 85 laps to the end of this run. Not sure whether they can make it or not. I guess we'll find out at about lap 80 to 85 when, if they couldn't, that would be the halfway mark to pit on.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's guys that are looking at that, just the fall off in times, and you know, you split this last run in half and you have the fresher tires. Can you run down the guys that are out on old tires? That's the biggest question, because you will lose a lap if you pit under green.
Yeah, and another big key there that you brought up was the losing of the lap. You know, whenever you're on these shorter tracks, that's something, sometimes you can lose 2 even, and it can play so big if a caution does come out. So lots to think about, lots of strategies, but we always like to say up here, you know, like no risk, no reward. So if you're not the leader, you got to try something and try something different, especially if you're back and forth and beyond. And we'll be looking forward to see that right now. But right now we're looking at our big movers. There's TJ Bartel and Zach McDaniel, 2 of the biggest movers on the night, up 10 spots and 8 spots respectively. Right now, Brad, when you look at these two, I mean, what do you think about what they're doing out here? Why is their truck just that much better than everybody else's?
As far as which one, TJ or Bobby?
Yeah, well, TJ and Zach both. I mean, it seems like their truck is maybe getting through the corners just a little bit better than, I'm not saying they're better than the leaders, but I mean, they are up 10 spots and 8 spots, so they're definitely moving through the field.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely agree with that. They're definitely moving through the field. The only problem with that is they stalled out. I mean, both of them, you know, right out of the get-go, they were able to make up quite a bit of time. That's when they made up the majority of those positions. And then we got to kind of about right where we are right now, where we stalled out. Zach McDaniel was actually able to make it a little bit further forward. Pit stops happened, fell a little bit back in the field again. So, you know, they got great trucks, but the problem is now they're up in the area of other great trucks, and they're just not really being able to make that stick, if you will. You know, they might have just exactly what we see right now, a 6th or 8th place truck. I want to see them be able to really make their way forward, but I'm not sure that they have a long run truck.
As we ride on board with Zach McDaniel, and you can just see the trials and tribulations here of trying to go underneath someone way up the track. It's the 40 that time. Door is open for the 42. Not sure he can get it done here, though. And he might, though. Way too high for the 40 on entry that time. That allows Zach McDaniel to take that spot, put him up to 6th spot. Back up front, Flanagan and Terrell. I mean, is it still 0.2, Brad? I imagine it is.
Yeah, 0.2, you know, just, you know, if that 53 truck has a shadow, it's got a 4 on the side of it for sure.
Absolutely, it does. And, interestingly, either Bobby can't get to him or he's decided a little different tack this time. Last time we seen him, Randy, just filling that mirror, right? Kind of trying to make Joe make a mistake. Joe didn't really make too much of one. And this time, maybe Bobby laying back just a little bit and trying to save tire.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it looks like. That Bobby's just going to maintain that tense back and just wait till Joe's tires start giving up, and then probably try to make the move while he's behind him. He's trying to save as much as he can.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think even during that first run, you didn't see a fact that Bobby necessarily wanted to go up and challenge Joe for the lead. I think he was forced into doing that with the 19 of Richie Cord getting right up on the back of him, and it was either going to be go for the lead or possibly fall back to third, as we see Bobby just starting to slowly make a little bit of an adjustment, and it looks like his truck's starting to rotate the corner just a little bit better than Joe's.
Another great observation there that, Coy was in the mix and kind of harassing Bobby, forcing the issue. Now Coy back quite a bit here from where he was, but the other guy on the move, that 8 truck, he is coming. I mean, Bernard Person, let's look in maybe on our last lap times and to see who's fastest out here right now. You got Flanagan and Terrell, 31:44s basically. Coy's a touch faster. Person, 31:33.
Yeah, absolutely. You give somebody like Bernard Person a clean track in front of him, just be able to sit back and worry about his lap, hitting his marks and everything like that, and you're going to start putting in some great lap times. What's very odd, if you will, especially from this seat, is look in front of our leaders right now. They're coming up on the 77 and Tim Bills. Who'd have thought that they were getting ready to come up on a driver such as Tim Bills to put him a lap down?
Yeah, that's quite amazing. I mean, the likes of Tim Bills, we've seen him dominate races in the past, and here he is about to go a lap down. But I'm still concerned, these leaders, although they're taking it, they're not really battling him anything, it's still Coy and Person who are the fastest. Is this some kind of sign to the future here, Randy? You think these guys have saved their stuff a little better, and they're going to make, as Bobby's thinking of making a move here?
I think Bobby's looking at that car up front there, and he's going to try to use him as a pick. It might be a situation where you're talking, it's time to go.
And back to your point, Dean, yeah, I think Richie and Bernard, they both get cleaner air. They're just racing the racetrack right now, and they're not using their equipment up, and they're just...
Yeah, they're consistently, they're not much, thousandths of a second faster, but faster nonetheless. Coy right now, fastest guy on the track, Person right behind him, and then it's our 2 leaders. So if we get back up front here, this could be interesting with the pick factor you brought up, Brad. Always you see a car like that and you're in second place, opportunity knocks and you're going to look at it.
Absolutely. Right now you see the 53 of Flanagan dive to the inside of the 77. Ford's going to ride up the track just a little bit more. He's going to try to maintain the momentum off the corner to try to close in on the back of the 53. You're going to see exactly that. He's thinking about maybe possibly putting it 3 wide. He's not going to have the room, but he's definitely trying to size him up here in 3 and 4. But don't look now. 19, Richie Coy. He's here.
Yeah, this side-by-side has jumped Coy right into this mix. He was coming nonetheless, but here he is, and he might have better stuff than he had last time because he's been able, like you talked about, Randy's riding around in clean air, and we'll see behind him, Bernard Person still got a ways to go to get up here, but he's coming also.
And Coy letting that back end go out right there.
This thing is heating up, man. A little short track action here, and these guys still nose to tail for first, second, and third, with fourth and fifth still within striking range. Let's give it to Pepto Joe. I mean, he is out here. He's managed with this little pick. I mean, it was a reverse pick at the second place car not using it, but Joe kind of taking advantage. He opened up a little gap here.
Yeah, he did. He was able to pull it out to about 4/10 of a second right now. That's probably the biggest lead he's had all race so far. As right now, Richie Coy's trying to make his way around the 77. He's going to be able to get clear. I think that time that he's going to have to set his sights and refocus if you will, on the Ford truck of Bobby Terrell, as Bobby's about 5/10 of a second back. But we are starting to get into some lap traffic. Pepto Joe, he's going to be coming up on another lap truck in about 2 or 3 laps, and that's going to be another one of our, peripheral favorites on a week-to-week basis as far as competition go. That's going to be the 03 at Dale Nearad. So a couple of heavy hitters really towards the end of the field, possibly going a lap down early in this race.
Yeah, you look ahead there to Dale Nearad, and not far off. Now that truck's still driving quite well, so this is going to pose a problem. I mean, we've seen what happened with Bills. He wasn't that far off the pace either. It took several laps to get on by him. So another opportunity for the 4, and he's closed back into the 53. We're going to stay with this battle and see how it plays out.
Looks like the 03 and Nearez just going to pull over, let these guys go by. A very classic thing to do. Doesn't want to be a part of the battle here for the lead.
What an awesome job by the 03 there. That's exactly what a classy driver does out there. Just allow this battle to be won and lost on the track. Doesn't want to involve himself. Love it from the 03.
It is interesting though, the 4 is able to close right back up on the back of the 53, but the 19 a little bit off there. You got to kind of wonder if the 4 is just kind of saving it just a little bit and decided he needs to pull it right back to him, as Bobby continues just to kind of stalk that mirror, make sure he fills it up.
As Bobby look back a little further, TJ Bartell now surging back. He's going to come up and take that spot back from Zach McDaniel. It looked like Zach had the long run car. Now it's TJ Bartell saying, no, I got the long run car. So let's see how this truck performs. He is now shown in 6th place, and they got Troy Torgensen right in front of them. Not sure where to look right now. This battle up front. We got the 53, the 4, and the 19 all battling. Person in between the next battle, which is going to be Torgensen, Bartell, and McDaniel. We look a little further back. You got Jared Carr, Mannix Riche, they're nose to tail. Brody Hanna in 10th place, hanging on. And then you got Ferland, Helm, Schultz, last week's winner. He's a ways back in 13th place. You got Held, Solari. There's Joly. Jason Spear underneath of Joly. And Jeff Bratton right there in that mix. Richard Hines back there. Get back to James Torrey. And then I believe you'll find our leaders are closing in.
Yeah, absolutely. As right there, you have James Torrey going to be the next car that our leaders are going to be coming up on. It's kind of interesting though. You talked about at the 12 of Richard Hines. We saw him. He went an additional lap than anybody else. Could it be a situation where he was thinking strategy? Possibly get a lead a green flag lap, maybe get an extra gallon of gas. Something like that. I'm not sure that it's a race-winning move, but is it one of those deals that they might be able to partake? And he's thinking a little bit of a different type of situation when it comes to the long run of this race.
Well, what do you think about that, Randy, when we think about track position and say James doesn't have to pit and everybody else does? Even if he gets lapped slightly, he will get the lead back. Will he get enough of the lead back where he could hold on to it?
And that's the gamble that you take doing that, is how much time can you make up when everybody else has to pit? And when they come out, they're going to be on fresh tires. So you have to, your delta for your pit lap has to be, you have to stand on it from now until the end of the race.
Well, speaking of the pit strategy in that, Randy, so we're on lap 81 of 125. Pit window is open. We're approaching that halfway from the last pit stops that occurred. If you do have to pit, what do you like? Do you like coming in short pit? Do you like coming in on the long end of it? You feel you just got to run the tank dry and see if a caution comes out? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are possibly top 8 or 9. You probably want to stay out, but even back there, you try to short pit, you try the undercut, because when they pit, you have the fresher tires for the next 10 laps. You may be able to gain enough room to kind of sneak one away from these guys.
Yeah, it's always my thing is like, how can I get the lead? Even if it's temporary, I mean, you could get a caution, whether it's long pit or short pit. I mean, usually short pit, right? You want to get out there, and when they all pit, you get the lead. We're seeing some pit stops now. Brian Helm is in. TJ Bartell on pit road, so one of our main contenders on pit lane. There's Zach McDaniel coming in. Claude Ferland also coming in. So pit stops have begun. I like it from these guys, especially a few spots back, coming in, trying to short pit, possibly jump these leaders, and hope for a caution, and then they'd be in the lead.
Yeah, I agree. I completely like it. I think if you were fifth on back, only because of the delta to you, you're about 6 seconds back from the leader. You're not going to make that up under green flag situations. As right now, we got a battle for the lead as the Ford truck going to try to get to the inside of the 53 of Joe Flanagan. We've seen this all night before, just not able to make it happen. But right now, he's going to be on the extreme bottom of the racetrack. He's going to have to see if he's going to have enough momentum on the bottom. I think this time he's actually going to have it.
Bobby Terrell in the 4 looking to take the lead. He's got control of the situation here. Here comes Richie Coy down low. Flanagan possibly going to lose 2 spots here.
Yeah, I know. Look now, the 8 of Bernard Person, he's closing in on this batter. So all of a sudden, Flanagan's truck going extremely possibly on the tie side. You would have to think, if you're Joe Flanagan, okay, you've lost the lead now. You're back to third. At what point do you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to come in and I'm going to go get these tires too, and I'm going to try to undercut the guys, because really he's racing these 4 drivers right here. And I think he's actually coming down.
It looks like he is, Brad, and it looks like he's listening to the broadcast as he's decided to come in. I like the call from Joe. He got past. Let's get in here, get that lead back, and put Bobby Terrell back to work. Right now, Terrell out here leading, Coy in second, and Person now in third place. He is joining up this battle. Good long run truck from the 8. We'll see when these guys decide to pit here.
Yeah, I think this is almost forcing some of their hands right now. And that's exactly what you needed to do if you're a Flanagan. If you don't think a caution's come out, I think you're right now. He's pretty much forcing these top 3 guys' hands.
So we see it still. Terrell staying out. Coy staying out. So is Person. I mean, these guys going to run it a little deeper here. This is definitely going to hand it back to Flanagan. And I like the call from Flanagan because, Randy, you look at it now. We've only got 38 laps left. How much time are these guys losing, and how much can they make up? I mean, the longer they stay out, the less time they have to make it up.
Absolutely. I think that was a brilliant call by Joe, because he is going to force their hands to pit earlier than wanted to, but he came out. He's maybe not even a full corner behind Bobby, so Bobby's got to look in the mirror and say, well, here he comes, and he's going to be picking up close to a second a lap.
So Coy has come in, Torgenson's in, Schultz is in. It looks like Terrell probably coming in this time by. Keep an eye on him. Yes, he is. It's a solid entrance from Bobby there, as Bernard Person follows him in as well. So this will cycle everything through, at least at the front. Riche follows these guys in as well. So it looks like that's going to hand the lead over to Jared Carr temporarily. Brody Hanna will be in second place. And these guys now begging for a caution.
Yeah, I got to think, if you're somebody like Jared Carr, had a little bit of incident earlier in this, but you've had a fast truck all night. This might be the opposite of this. You roll the dice, you leave it out there. Mannix Riche or somebody like a Brody Hanna, I would not be I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, to see him run this thing dry.
So we see Flanagan going by the 4. There goes TJ Bartell. He's going to get by the 4 as well. So now Bobby Terrell is going to have work to do as Joe Flanagan reassumes the potential lead once this all shakes out. Right now, Carr is in. Brody Hanna, your new race leader. It'll put Jason Spear up to second. Solari in third. Flanagan going to move up to 4th temporarily, but he will assume the lead if no caution comes out.
And right there, that was a 2-lap earlier pit stop, and he went from 3rd, regained the lead, and should have probably at least a second and a half lead over Bobby. So just that short pit, that undercut, that's how much it gained him.
And Bobby's got to deal with TJ Bartell. So I mean, that's no easy task. He's going to lose more time here. This is playing right into the 53's hands. Pepto Joe loving what's going on. You see Coy he's right behind Bobby as well. So very interesting pit strategy here playing out. I mean, Bobby's still maybe the favorite, but he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to think if with all of these drivers coming down the pit road, you got to think that there's no way that anybody's going to be able to make this on the fuel that they had. Sounds like Jason Spear going to finally come down pit road, or at least he's going to let Flanagan by. But right now, Brody Hanna continues to circle this field out front as these guys slowly start just to kind of bring it back with their fresh tires.
Yeah, Hanna leading. Flanagan second. He just got by Jason Spears still on the track. Bobby Terrell now has gotten around TJ Bartel, as has Coy. Coy going to get up here and perhaps put the 4 to the test. So again, the 4 not able to maybe drive his line when he's got that 19 up there harassing him. And Randy, that can wear on you as the race goes on.
Oh, absolutely. The last thing Bobby wants to do is race with anybody, but try to hunt that 53 back down. But with Richie there trying to battle for second, it's definitely going to distract him, and he's going to have to concentrate on holding his second place before he gets to race with Joe.
All right, we come down now. It looks like 31 laps to go. The battle is on, and like I said, there's not a lot of time. Let's look in on our last lap times here. You've got, of course, Hanna 31.85 is about a second off the pace, but then Flanagan a 30.88, Terrell a 30.59, fastest man on the track. Him in person pretty close, as is Coy. Coy, something's happened. Coy has dropped out of the server, perhaps connection issues. Richie Coy not being shown on the track.
He's back.
Okay, he is back. Got a little freaked out, and he blipped out again, so Coy is having problems. This could be bad for Richie Coy.
Yeah, I think he just dropped completely that time.
That is so unfortunate. Fortunate for the 4, though, he will not be getting harassed by him, but Richie had a possible winning truck. Man, has he had bad luck this season, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just unfortunate. You don't want to see that. It looks like we had a couple of guys. Well, 77 out into the wall, almost down into the grass there. It looks like the 44 Claude Ferland having some issues as well, similar to Richie Coy, another one of those drivers having a decent night tonight, and another implications for the points with that. But right now, you know, I'm looking up at Brody Hanna. You know, losing about a second a lap. You talked about it earlier. At what point in time do you really got to be worried if you're Brody Hanna that you've stayed out too long? Because he could easily go from the lead to 23rd, possibly 2 laps down.
Well, I think at this point, Hanna has decided he will stay out as long as his gas and tires permit it, and he still has the lead. There is no sense in pitting at this point. You have to pray for a caution, and, you know, that's all you have right now. The results be damned. We're putting it all our chips in the middle. And I love the call, Randy. I mean, I like it when people take an opportunity like this. He could steal this win tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's made his bed, and I think he's going to stick to it and just run it until it's empty.
Dean, don't look now. The battle for second place before Bobby Terrell. He has once again caught the 53 of Joe Flanagan.
Yeah, a little unfortunate here for Joe that he's caught him so quickly, because Bobby, with those fresher tires, he will make this pass. It's only a matter of time. You can see there, just laying off, not even being over aggressive. He knows he's got this under control. So unfortunate. Joe Flanagan having a heck of a race, but he's kind of in the same situation as Brody Hanna now. He wants a caution. He probably wants to get by Brody first and then have a caution, but both of these guys wanting a caution to hold off Bobby Terrell, who's been unstoppable here in the Truck Series. Multiple wins. I think he's got 5 or 6 wins already, just dominating. And I talked to him before, Randy. This is a man who really wants a truck championship. He doesn't have one yet.
Oh, he's definitely putting 100% into this Truck Series, and it's shown. He's, no matter what kind of track we go to, a mile and a half, road course, he is consistently top 2, top 3, week in and week out. And watching this battle, that's probably what Brody Hanna is praying for. Let those two get side by side and just battle for 10 more laps. I think that would be seal the deal for Brody.
Yeah, I mean, Brody, like a caution, I keep saying, like any time here in the next 5 laps or so, and he's going to be in a great position, of course, on the point. But even after that, I mean, you can stay out even longer. You drop to second or third or fourth, you can continue to stay out for a bit, and you still have a shot at it. But right now, Bobby looking for a way around. You got to hand it to Joe, man. Pepto Joe up here is holding him off so far.
And I love it. I love exactly what I'm seeing out of that 53 right now. He's making the 4 try to pass him extremely hard. You see the 4 going all the way up on the top side. You see him trying to get down to the bottom. You got to sit here and think the more he's able to do this, the more he's able to make Bobby use up those tires, that the tires are going to equalize. And eventually it's going to be plus 53. The 53 is going to have the advantage. I say that in the 4. Looks like he's going to have the preferred line. Will he have the exit speed to be able to get it? He's definitely going to be faster through the corner. He might even be able to use the 77 as a pick.
He is using, he's seen that 77, cagey vet that he is. He decided to make that move then, and it paid off. You can see it there. No choice from Flanagan but to fall in behind. Wow, Bobby Terrell back to the point, or in second, I should say. It's still Brody Hanna out here in the lead.
There was absolutely nothing the 77 and Tim Bills could do. You saw him go all the way up to the third line. Didn't matter. He was already, unfortunately, the victim, if you will, of the pick for Bobby Terrell. As Bobby Terrell is able to get by the 53, starts to set sail, and he's slowly pulling away already.
Looking on Bernard Persson here, he is about 2.5 seconds off of Bobby Terrell. You got TJ Bartel sitting in 5th place. He's up 11 spots on the night. Troy Torgensen back in 6th place, having a solid run, struggling a little bit with the handling of that truck, but making the best of it tonight. Zach McDaniel continuing to have a great run, up 8 spots in 7th. Riche back in 8th. Hellman 9th. Carr in 10th. And we'll just visually run through some of the rest of the order here. We see a guy like John Held back here, Brad. It's a nice run for John back in 13th position.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, John started 20th, currently in 13th, made up 7 positions on the night tonight. I think he's actually missed a couple of races, but was a previous winner. I believe he actually won our season opener at Daytona, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. I don't know if it was a season opener that he won, but he come into the series after not making the first few races. Did get a win, I believe, at Daytona or Talladega, a super speedway track, and he is outside of the top 25, so every point counts for John Held to try and get in there.
I believe it was Talladega, and he passed me on the last corner of the last lap.
But we're not bitter.
We're not bitter,
Not at all.
Randy, that is unfortunate for you, but big win for John. And it's not a race that I actually remember that well, but talk a little bit about what happened during that race.
That race, actually, he held the lead. We worked together all race, and he timed it perfectly coming to the checkered flag. And short of I blocking him and possibly wrecking us both, he made a brilliant move. He waited till the end. He absolutely earned it. Race clean, and I was a sitting duck out front.
Talk about a sitting duck out front. That's exactly what we just saw. Brody Hanna sitting out front with the Ford truck of Bobby Terrell. You slowly heard the Jaws music coming as he closed in, and he was able to just go right on by that 23 with the fresh tires and put Bobby Terrell to the lead.
Yeah, Bobby, we were running down there to 20th place, and in the meantime, Bobby able to pick off Brody Hanna. To be expected. As long as we stayed green, we knew that would happen. Flanagan still holding on to 2nd place, and Bernard Persson still about 1.5 seconds off of Flanagan. But watch out for Bernie. He is making progress on Flanagan. I don't know about Bobby. Bobby has kind of set sail at this point.
Yeah, Bobby kind of in a class of his own, which we've seen him several times this season, just be able to pull it out. You know, he does have the freshest tires of our top four. TJ Bartell about 6 seconds back. Bernard Person, you know, he might be able. He's probably going to be able to get to Brody Hanna. I think Brody Hanna might fall maybe about the 9th or 10th, so it's going to be a net gain as long as he does have enough fuel to make it to the end. So definitely possibly a top 10. So that gamble will pay off, I think, if, again, that's the main thing, if he's going to have enough fuel. But this isn't over yet. We can get a caution at any time, and we're going to re-rack it. And we've already seen that Joe Flanagan be able to get out faster than that Ford truck under a green flag or under caution.
Absolutely, we did, and we could see it again. And we've seen it many times in the past where you start to get lulled into a security blanket or whatever you want to call it, and with about 5 to go, bam, a caution hits and this thing gets flipped on its head. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But right now it's all Bobby Terrell. I mean, points leader, race leader. Not much more you can say about Bobby except for he is the standard right now. If you want to win races here, you got to beat the 4.
Oh, absolutely. In 20 starts this season, he has 3 poles, 4 wins, 12 top 5s, and 15 top 10s. I mean, there's not a whole lot of inconsistency there, and that's exactly what you're going to need to do if you're going to try to be able to win a championship, and he is definitely on the drive to get this done.
He is determined. You heard Randy talk about how he has put everything into this truck series. It's paying off, there's no doubt about him. Right now he's got the 65, a lap car right there with him. And I'm not sure who that is, guys.
65?
I believe it was the 65. I could be mistaken.
That's the 55. That's the Duluth. That is Bratton.
That's Bratton in the 55. My mistake there. But Bratton looking like his truck is actually keeping up pretty good with Bobby right now. He is currently shown in 14th place, so that is Bobby has lapped up to 13th or 14th position. Next on his list will be John Helt.
And going back through the field, I just got to give a big shout out. Kenneth Schultz, starting in from 27th, he's up to 12th. Real quiet night for him, but just slow and steady, just picking off as many points as he needed.
Yeah, out of Gladiators of Racing, a rookie here in the series, a race winner last week, punching his ticket into the playoffs. Schultz, so you're right, up 15 spots, having himself a really nice evening.
I do want to mention Richie Coy was able to come back on the server. He's currently shown 4 laps down in the 21st position, as well as Claude Ferland, the 44. Same type of an issue. He's now currently shown 5 laps down in the 22nd position. So both of those gentlemen's night definitely not ending the way that they wanted to after running a good wheel.
And there it is. How many times have we seen it in the past? It looks like TJ Bartell and Troy Torgensen involved. Oh my goodness. Let's get a look in on what happened.
That 40 is toast.
There you see the 40 on the outside of the 98 of Torgensen. 40 loose, comes down, contact with the 98. They're both around. 98 trying to save it, comes down. I believe that's Joly that he gets into. So... and the 40 looks like he's got heavy damage. My goodness.
You know, that's not what Bobby Terrell wanted to see, but I guarantee that's what that 23 wanted to see.
You know, it's so different being in the booth as in on the track. I'm excited to see the caution. I'm sorry for the guys involved, but here we go, folks. It's going to be Terrell and Flanagan. The first battle is on pit road. We already see Flanagan with that preferred first pit stall, Randy, able to beat the 4 out. Can he get up here close enough to him on entry here to be a factor on pit road? You see him coming in hard here, and I don't think he's gotten himself close enough, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think he needed about another truck length to catch up to him to have a chance, but this is definitely going to put him in a spot where fresh tires, he seemed to have a real fast truck first 5-10 laps, but Brody Hanna is probably screaming hallelujah on his radio because this is exactly what he needed.
Yeah, and this is one of the places where Bobby Terrell really excels. We've seen it late race cautions right there. You know he's making adjustments to that truck, adding a little bit of air pressure, adding a little bit of tape, make sure he fires off, as he's going to be the first truck off pit road.
And it looks like someone did not get off of pit road, because it's going to be Flanagan second, Person third, Hannah in fourth. Looks like, I guess Torgensen was probably up there, so he was involved in that incident, and that's where these gains are coming from. But you also have Zach McDaniel staying out on the track so far. I'm not sure about what's going on there. Don't believe he was a lap down, so he might have
He's coming in now.
Might have missed the opportunity here. That would be, I don't think he was a lap down. That's interesting out of Zach McDaniel.
No, I think he just got caught with the pace truck, not knowing if pit road opened for him or it was opening, when it was opening, if you will. We've all done that when we get really strung out around the track, if you will. You come up on it, it opens really quick, and you're like, does that mean now, or does that mean when I come back around? And unfortunately, I think that's exactly what happened with McDaniel.
So we made the call. Sometimes around 5 to go. Here we are, 7 to go. Probably restart with 5 to go. Randy, do you think maybe we're prophetic up here in the booth? I don't know.
Blame it on Randy.
Yeah, blame it on me, but this is going to be an awesome wait to the finish. There's going to be the top 5, top 6 trucks are just, there's nothing to hold back now. You're giving it everything you can. You're driving it in deep. You're pushing for every inch you can get.
All right, Randy, so special guest in the booth. We're always going to put it on you because, don't blame us. Is this the last caution?
Absolutely not. There's one more. We're going to do a green-white checkered for the win.
Wow. Absolutely not. Very definitive call from Randy McCanny. I like it. I like the certainty of the call. Now, Brad, let me put it to you. For Bobby Terrell, are you going to stay down on the low line? You've been up high on every restart. Now you're on the low side.
He's going to stay on the bottom. What he's really got to be careful for is a restart violation. We saw that last week. It played key factor. We had a win taken away from a driver from a restart violation. We know that they're going to be very keen on looking for those types of things. So he's got to make sure at the same time that he can't be too aggressive, because just a little bit of too much of aggression, it can take everything away from you. So you really got to make sure that you hit your marks perfect on this restart. I think he's going to be in a good spot, because unfortunately for the 53, even if you get in a little too hot, 8 wheels are better than 4.
Here we go. Terrell and Flanagan, Hannah in person.
Green, green, green.
And it's a drag race. It looks like Terrell with a great start at 53, not so much. Bernard Person down to the inside. He's looking to take this spot away from Flanagan. They got to get this sorted out and not let Bobby Terrell walk away here.
Yeah, Terrell able to clear both of them. He's going to have...
Oh, and Brody Hannah into Bernard Person. Loose off the corner.
I believe the words were absolutely another caution is what I remember hearing.
Absolutely. Randy McCanny caused that caution. Calling it from the booth.
Oh, I just knew this fuel laps, fresh tires, you're digging for everything, and everybody's running so close that it's nothing intentional, just one little slip up, one little mistake, and that's the outcome.
Let's look at it. You see here, it's going to be Bernard Person down low, Flanagan up high, and Brody Hannah in the 23 up high. They come through the corner. Hannah starting to get a little loose down the track into the 8, spins them around. Bam, hard lick. The 8 from teammate Jason Spear. McDaniel, a little piece of that. A few others get a little piece of it as well. My goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you kind of hate that, Brody Hannah all night, playing that strategy card, understanding that doesn't have a very fast truck as far as, not having the tires he needed, just doing everything he can to put himself in a good situation. Caution falls his way, and ultimately that happens, and now he's currently back in the 10th place, probably going to possibly lose a little bit more as far as getting damage goes. So you really hate to see anything like that, but ultimately, it's what you're going to get. Everybody's fighting for a win here. And old Casey McMullen, just so you know, Randy, he said way to go on that caution there.
So we look
Terrible luck.
we
Oh,
look at this compared to earlier, Randy. You know, Joe didn't have the greatest restart the first time around on the low side. He learned, he got better. Now he's on the outside. Not a great restart from him there. Do you think he learned again and could do much better this time around?
absolutely. He's probably trying to guess where the green lights are coming out, where the green flag is going to be released, so he could try to stay on Bobby's outside. But that first time, Bobby kind of snookered him there a little bit, and he wasn't going as fast as Bobby. So I think this time he's definitely going to be a little bit closer to Bobby, a little bit on his door, just trying to anticipate that green flag.
I don't know. I think it's going to come down to the 60 of Mannix Richey, to be honest with you. Is he going to be able to get up on the back of the four, give him a little bit of a shot? How aggressive is the 60 going to be? We haven't seen him all night up here at the front. We know he's got a fast racetrack. He qualified 8th tonight. He's been kind of mired back in the pack. A lot of these guys, you know, they got Brian Helm up there. How aggressive is he going to be? You talked about him earlier. Kenneth Schultz, he's up there. You know, the 40, obviously a damaged race truck, not really a chance at the win, but, you know, there's nothing to say that the 60 doesn't send it completely into turn one.
Wow, yeah, some of these players, Richey and Helm up here, Schultz is up here. This is great for these guys. Of course, Flanagan and Terrell going to do battle, but Richey patiently, man, this guy always ends up in the top 5 or 10. Love the way he races that truck. And he's in a prime position. We've seen what third can do compared to second. If he could get clear of Flanagan, it could be him. Flanagan gets a good restart, it could be him. I mean, so much on the line here.
Yeah, and you got stuff further back in the field, too, that we got to worry about. You know, I see the 08 Sylvan Joly rolling around, the car truck smoking. You know, all we need is a caution with this final green-white checkered, and it's over. So we're not necessarily racing, you know, for more than 300 feet, if you will. You know, Bobby Terrell just needs to make sure he stays in front of that 53 at all times.
Yeah, caution comes out before the final white flag, then caution will end it. If the white flag comes out, we will race to the checkered flag, and we will stay with our lead race here. This is going to be great, folks. Hold on to your seats. Terrell and Flanagan, Richey and Helm, anything is possible.
Green, green, green.
Oh, and Flanagan with a move on the outside, and they're dead heating to the start finish, down into one. The 4 and 53 side by side. Richey sends it in deep. Helm's loose. They're wrecking back there. This could be for the win. It's over, folks. And there's cars flying through the darn air as Bobby Terrell going to take this win by a nose. Flanagan will be in second, Richey in third.
I don't know. They haven't updated scoring yet.
I'm pretty certain from what I've seen that it will be Terrell, but let's take a look at the wreck. We'll get official word on our results in a minute.
Yep, they updated.
Jared Carr back here in the 57. He's coming in hard in front of him. A little contact, more contact, more contact. The 40 and the 26. That's Bartel and Helm. Torrey's involved. A lot of guys involved there. Just a shame for these guys. Last lap, poor finishing results. But Bobby Terrell makes it through everything. Gonna take home yet another victory, and what a fantastic race from Joe Flanagan. Brad Flanagan did everything. He tried everything. It's just tough to beat the 4.
It really is. I mean, he did everything he could tonight. Ultimately, I think it came down to just that 2 laps and maybe a small pit road adjustment, if you will. You know, we saw the 4 able to really manage the restarts just a little bit better on those final ones, be able to get just a little bit of a gap, get everything you need right in front of Joe Flanagan. But Flanagan, what can you say? I mean, all night, Mannix Richey, where did he come from?
Richey, a true where did he come from? I don't even know what to ask him other than where'd you come from?
Maybe we need to let Randy ask him that.
Yeah,
little welcome to the
absolutely.
booth.
Randy will ask him that and we'll get those interviews right shortly as we watch Bobby Terrell around here taking another victory lap. This is getting to be old hat for the 4. My goodness, what an awesome job by him tonight. Right now, let's take a short commercial break. Come back, we'll get interviews with those top 3 finishers. Welcome back here to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where Bobby Terrell took home the victory tonight. Just an excellent job by him. Joe Flanagan was in 3rd place. Actually, let's go to our results here. We look in on them, of course, Terrell and Flanagan 1st and 2nd. Riche out of nowhere for 3rd. Schultz out of nowhere for 4th. Person surviving that wreck and finishing 5th. Good job by him. Torrey, Solari, Helm, Hines in the top 10. Carr makes it in the top 10. Bartel, late trouble in 11th. McDaniel likewise in 12th. Held, Torgensen, Hanna, Nearad, Bills, and Bratton. Your top 18 finishers. You can see the rest of the board there. Hanna back there, Ferland back there. Some of these guys having problems rather early or late in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of these guys not having the turnout that they want, but it's good to see some of these names in the top 10. I mean, James Torrey's up here. Richard Hines, we saw with that early strategy call, comes home in the 9th position. So, not necessarily the best night for some of the guys, but some guys that really needed a great finish. And just one of those things to kind of get some momentum going. It's good to see them up here in the top 10.
Definitely is. I mean, Hines, one of the favorite guys around the garage area and everything. Really nice to see him up here. And the same goes for James Torrey as well. But right now, I believe Randy McCanny is standing by with our 3rd place finisher.
Mannix, Riche, this is Randy up in the booth. Just tell us a little bit how your night was, and I have to ask you, where did you come from?
I think I just survived the race. I just get lucky, I guess.
Well, pretty quiet first half of the night. That last restart, could you kind of walk us through what you were thinking and kind of what you saw and your chances for possibly pulling out a win?
I just want to check those 2 on the front. They maybe they get just get together. So I guess just gonna take pass to the inside, but everything was clean, everything was fine. But at the end, that's it.
I gotta say, congratulations! A great points night, great finish for you, starting 8th, finishing 3rd. Is there anybody you'd like to thank, or sponsors, teammates, anything like that?
Yeah, I would like to thank my sponsor, Exxon LED. and Sylvain Joly, my teammate and crew chief, and Claude Ferland, also teammate. So good job for those two, and thanks to Sylvain for the setup.
All right. That was Mannix. That was a great interview by him and a great out of nowhere finish.
All right, we thank you, Randy. Right now, though, I'm standing by with our second place finisher. That's going to be the 53, Old Pepto Joe Flanagan. Joe, oh, you put that thing on the pole. You were just leading that thing early. I mean, but what can you say about Bobby Terrell? I mean, what could you have done differently to get that one little bit spot right there ahead of him?
Nothing. Bobby's the definition of a gentleman racer. He was faster than me all night, and he knew it, and I knew it. But he just waited his turn, waited his time, and when the opening was there, he took it. I was able to get back around him, pitting a couple laps early, but then he had newer tires and came right back up to me. So it was a good race. Me and Bobby have been racing together for a long time, and he's always been a good, clean driver, and we had a lot of fun racing together.
Well, come on now. Let's not be too shy. You were out there and you were putting the laps on him. We were following you and you were running quicker times and he wasn't being able to get by you for lack of a better term. We're not going to sit there and say that he was just letting you out there by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you were wheeling that thing all night tonight. We're very proud to see you up front. I mean, you put that thing on the pole, and that's one of those things. Very impressive. We're used to seeing you come from a little bit back in the field, a little bit more of a conservative driver, if you will. Today, though, you were up on that wheel. I mean, talk us what that means to you, especially going forward with a little bit more momentum.
Well, the thing, this track is so hard to pass, and we had talked about it all week. We don't usually work too much on qualifying, but we knew, as a team that we had to start up towards the front. And once I got there, I sure didn't want to give it up because it's such a tight points battle between me and Mannix for that 16th spot into the playoffs. So once I got up at the front, I just didn't want to give it up, and I was sure hoping Bobby. I mean, that son of a gun sure knows how to win a race, doesn't he? He wins all the time. So I figured he had enough. He might let me get one, but didn't work out that way.
No. You have to earn it. You have to earn everything with that Ford truck in front of you. And I'm sure you saw him quite a bit in your mirror. And, that's a feat that not a whole lot of people can say, especially in a race like tonight where I believe you led probably the most laps. And, in your mirror the entire time was that Ford truck. Next week, though, it looks like we're going to be moving on to Lucas Oil. We're going to be at the Lucas Oil Raceway. What do you think your chances of next week are going to be?
About the same. I love the shorter tracks, and but I know Bobby's good at them too. And there's a lot of guys. This league is incredible with the talent that's in this league. It's going to be a lot of strong trucks out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're looking forward as well. And, I want to make sure that if there's one thing that you remember when you leave this interview is when you say that there's a lot of good competitors in this league, you are definitely one of the top 10. And, any given week you can go and put that thing on the pole and get yourself into victory lane. Joe, we really appreciate everything you've done here. I'm so happy to see you get a pole and come home second place tonight. I'm going to turn the mic over to you, let you thank anybody you need to thank.
Well, first off, I can't thank you enough for those kind words. It really means a lot to me. I want to thank my sponsor, my personal sponsor, Pepto Joe's Concertina channel. Everybody check it out on YouTube. It's wonderful. And my team, they were terrific this week working together to get the setups going. Jared and Brody and Richie and Tony and all them guys, they did a great job. And of course, you broadcasting guys do a terrific job. I really appreciate that. And Dark Matter for sponsoring the league. And I can't wait to be back up in here getting interviewed again sometime. Thanks again.
All right. Well, we're definitely looking forward to having you up here in the Blackwater Products Truck Series. But right now, I believe Dean's standing by with our race winner.
Yes, I got the familiar number 4, Bobby Terrell, race winner here in the New Hampshire 125. Congratulations, Bobby.
Thanks a lot, guys. Means a lot.
I say the familiar number 4. It might be the great number 4 at this point, Bobby. Really working on this truck series. Just talk a little bit about the focus you've been putting into these trucks and how important it is and special to you to try to win a championship here in the truck series.
It means a lot to me. Like I said, I've been working hard this year, just trying to get up there. I mean, I know it's going to come down to 10 races and anything can happen, but just try to win the regular season, and that'll mean a lot to me. And then when the playoffs start, just try to get what we can get.
Yeah, it's sometimes a crapshoot, but we got a suspicion you'll be in the final, Bobby, and we look forward to seeing that. But let's get to tonight. Pepto Joe Flanagan giving you all you can handle tonight. You're being patient. We've seen a little bit of a different strategy take, it would look like, and it might have involved the 19 and whether how close he was. He was putting heat on you, which kind of forcing you to put heat on Joe, maybe when you weren't really ready to do so yet.
Yeah, I mean, like I was wanting to send Joe a message and tell him just to run his line, at least for the first 20, 25 laps, and because it seemed like when we started racing each other that everybody would start catching back up to us. And like I said, shout out to Joe. I mean, what a heck of a race. We raced each other side by side for several laps at different times. We've raced each other for a long time, so we knew each other real well. And like I said, my hat's off to him. he had a he had a good truck too, but I think his just fell off after about 20 laps, is what I could tell. And mine was kind of coming in. It was getting good. So I think that was the difference. But you never know what's going to happen just because the cautions. And like I said, he got a run on me, right there on that last restart. So it could have went his way just as well as it went mine.
Well, we hear you guys have been racing together forever. I think this one will be in the memory books for a long time, Bobby. We've seen earlier in the race, you finally do get around him. I mean, for maybe a half a corner, caution comes out, you're granted the lead. You go in, you do pit stops. Joe beats you out. You got to be thinking, you got to be kidding me. I just got the lead.
I mean, that's exactly what I said. I said, you have got to be kidding me. I mean, that first pit stall means a lot. And um, yeah, and he got out in front of me, and I was just like I said, I got to start all over again trying to get around him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had other people in the mix, lap cars in the mix. Talk a little bit about how you use those lap cars and how you try to. You see them coming, and it's both opportunity and negative depending on where you are, and but you do try to use them when you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think that last pass on him that I seen someone outside. I seen a leopard coming, and Joe was trying to get me on the high side, I think. And then, like I said, that kind of stalled his run on the outside, so that helped me get back into the lead. So, I mean, yeah, you have to try to use what you can.
Well, unfortunately, at the end, Bobby, we weren't able to green flag it to the end and really see what would happen, but we got a feeling it would have been the four, just like it is now. Man, you are getting really tough out here to beat, and we look forward now to Lucas Oil, and I imagine, you're going to have run a somewhat similar truck out there. How you feeling looking forward to Lucas Oil?
I mean, like I said, I like short tracks. I like any track, that's flat, like tonight. Um, but like I said, it's just going to take practice. I think I can't remember exactly, but I think it's the higher line, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it probably is, but you never know. You have to get out there and run some laps. But I'm sure you'll either be, in first or fighting around the top. We really look forward to it. You got yourself a really nice points lead. Looking forward to that regular season championship, if you will, and the playoffs. Bobby Terrell, race winner here at New Hampshire, man. Big congrats again, Bobby.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'd just like to thank everything you guys do in the booth. The broadcasts are excellent. Um, Full throttle for the league as a whole, and the admins, everything they do. I kind of have a little taste of what they do, and I just couldn't do it. And so my hat's off to them. Um, and then I hate it for Richie. I mean, he's having internet trouble. I mean, he was right there in the mix of it. So, just a shout out to him. And then, like I said, Joe raced me clean. I can't say enough about the guy. It was a fun race. So hats off to him and Blackwater Products for sponsoring our series. We wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Absolutely. All right, Brad. That's our race winner, Bobby Terrell. I mean, I don't even know what more you can say about this. Just a great racer and a great win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does it week in and week out. You know, that's 5 wins on the series on the season now. You know, and what's more impressive than that? I mean, for the entire series, he's got probably the lowest incident amount of points that anybody in the entire series has. And we're talking about guys that have only ran half the amount of races that he's ran. So the definition of a clean gentleman driver, as was said earlier, is completely fitting for that Ford truck, unless he's in your mirror.
Exactly. And Randy, you know, we look at that race and we looked at Bobby and Joe and both of them commenting on the years of racing each other. And that's kind of what sim racing is all about, right? Building these relationships and friendships and some of the memories. I mean, real racing really has nothing on us. We're out here creating memories and we remember every one of these races.
Absolutely. And difference between real racing and the sim racing that we do, we're doing this multiple nights a week. You know, there's practice sessions. We're in voice channels talking. It's not always all about racing. It's what's going on in your life and what other hobbies or interests you have. And you really do build good relationships with all these guys.
Absolutely, we do, and then I think one just got furthered a little more between Bobby and Joe, and maybe ours here in the booth, bringing you in here tonight, getting to know you a little bit better, Randy. We loved having you. Of course, I always love working with Brad as well, and it was a great show for everybody. And we got more of them, folks, every Wednesday night. Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Come back next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. We got Lucas Oil. Going to be a great show, and we've got a full slate all week long. So come and check in Full Throttle TV and all their broadcasts. Can't wait for the next one. I think we got the next one on tap is the Cup Series on Monday night, the Dark Matter Designs Cup Series. So that one's going to be a great show as well. But for myself, Dean Doucette, for Brad Patterson, and for Randy McCanny, that's going to wrap it all up. And we'll see all of you right here next time on Full Throttle TV.